Have you ever tried to listen to French native speakers and ask yourself, why doesn't spoken French sound like textbook French? Hi, French learners. Today we are decoding native slang and everyday speech. Most learners know grammar, vocabulary, verb conjugations, but struggle with understanding native speakers following casual conversation sounding natural. The goal isn't just speaking French, it's understanding real French. To connect with native speakers, you need the three levels of French: formal French, informal French, and familiar French or slang that you use with friends, family, colleagues, in text messages. You don't have to use every slang word, but you absolutely need to understand them. Listening comprehension depends on it. Remember, our main focus today is decoding familiar French and common slang that we call in French argot. There are three layers you have to take into account in spoken French: the vocabulary, slang, for example, and everyday idioms. The second layer is the culture. In French spoken language, we have the Verlan. Verlan is deeply rooted in modern French. So slang and Verlan are part of modern communication. Understanding slang and Verlan improves listening far more than speaking it. Real fluency means understanding the language people actually use. The third layer you have to take into account is the speed, the pronunciation, the phonetic contractions when we drop some words, for example. Now, let's have a look at very common informal language or slangs that we use in French. It's not only slangs, but informal language. Bear also in mind that slangs or informal language are used depending on the context, on the situation, also depending on the personality of each person. For example, I don't use slang words so much. So it depends on your personality, the person you are speaking with. The first word is travailler. Travailler in very common French, you use the verb travailler. In slang, you have the verb taffer or bosser. For example, je taffe demain. Tomorrow I'm working. I don't use taffer, for example, or bosser. I rather use travailler. Second word, the expression c'est absurde. That means it's nonsense. So c'est n'importe quoi. It's not a slang expression, but informal expression. C'est absurde. Absurde is formal. C'est n'importe quoi, informal. Oh, c'est n'importe quoi. It's nonsense. Third expression, ne pas avoir envie. Ne pas avoir envie. To not feel like doing something. In informal language, we will say avoir la flemme. Avoir la flemme. Avoir la flemme. J'ai la flemme de travailler. Next expression, abandonne. 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 Give it up. In very informal language, we will say laisse tomber, laisse tomber, laisse tomber. Laisse tomber, ce n'est pas important. Oh, drop it, it's not important. Other slang words that we use in everyday life. Un mec, a guy. Un truc, a thing. J'ai un truc à te dire, for example. I have something to tell you. Être crevé, to be completely exhausted. Kiffer, to love something or someone. Je kiffe le chocolat. I love chocolate. Je kiffe le chocolat. Step 2. Forming Verlan slang. Now, let's look at the most popular street slang that we call Verlan. Verlan is the French word for the reverse, l'envers, with its syllables literally flipped backward. L'envers becomes Verlan. You just invert the syllables of standard words to create new slang terms. Here are some Verlan words. You take the standard word for bizarre or weird in English, flip the syllables, and it becomes zarbi in Verlan slang. You take the word for a party, fête in French, reverse the sound, and you get teuf, which is everywhere in French pop culture. Even the most basic word for thank you, merci in French, gets flipped into cimer. Step 3. The dropping of ne. In familiar French, the first part of negative structure, the ne, is dropped. So, in the phrase I don't know, je ne sais pas, loses its first negative marker completely in casual French. But the physical transformation goes beyond that. The remaining words change into je sais pas, from je ne sais pas, pronounced by some people je sais pas. We have another case for ce n'est pas grave. You drop the ne, it becomes c'est pas grave. C'est pas grave. And this compression happens with pronouns and basic verbs as well. The phrase for you have, for example, tu as, contracts to t'as. T'as vu le film? The phrase for there is, il y a in French, loses its pronoun entirely and just becomes y a. Y a un problème. And finally, the question phrase for what do you do? Instead of articulating qu'est-ce que tu fais, it collapses into a single sound. Qu'est-ce que tu fais? We started this lesson asking the question, why don't you understand fast French speakers? Now you understand they are speaking fast, not just to make it difficult to be understood. Now it makes sense. Now you realize they are just optimizing the language for speed. It becomes a mechanic puzzle rather than a personal failure of your listening skills. You can take these expressions, the slang, the backward Verlan, the contractions, and actually stand in front of your mirror. Speak them out loud. You have to build the muscle memory in your jaw so that when those compressed sounds hit your ear in a noisy cafe, your brain instantly recognizes the physical shape of the word. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Abonnez-vous à la chaîne et à très bientôt pour une nouvelle vidéo. This is a text message test that we can do next time in class, or you can do it in the comment section.